is Wendy Williams docuseries that just now appeared on Lifetime. I just now wrapped it up, and I am just at a loss of words on so many different avenues with my thoughts and theories on Wendy as a person. I'm just looking at this whole situation. I'm a little scared because I'm like, wow, they're showing us stuff that we didn't even really realize. Where Wendy's ego, I want to say, is, right? I do want to say though too, whenever you're under, I'm going to say, a physician's care and you are taking different um cations to, put you in a different mind frame, I want to say that usually your conversation with somebody will not carry the same as you were when you're sober, all right? Everybody is, everybody that takes something becomes a different person, okay, moments later. I think too that she was so in so many different vulnerable states that for them to keep rolling the cameras as if nothing really mattered was just shocking to me. I do want to say this too. They pointed out that when she was having a meltdown, that she stated she wanted Kevin removed. To me, it was not very evident on what Kevin she meant, right? Because you have Kelvin, but then you have Kevin Jr. and she calls Kelvin Kevin. So, with that being said, I was just sitting here going, well, she could have meant Kevin Sr. I think that Kevin Sr. kind of gets him where he fits in whenever it comes to Wendy. I feel really bad for her in that stance because a lot of ex-husbands act like they have that, free will to just walk in and out of your front door. You know what I mean? Like, I help make you, we're friends, beyond what's happened between us, like we're grown. I don't know. I don't know. I can't go backwards on that, right? Because it's a crazy scenario, especially considering, that Wendy Williams is more of the gossiper and not the gossip E, right? So now we're just like, now she's in that hot seat. I think it's just more than she can bear as far as the embarrassment of it all. You guys, take the liberty of, I believe the calling is somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. So anywho, I think that whenever they removed Kevin Jr., he just felt like, look, I'm on the outside looking in, and now I'm thinking that something may happen to my mom. On another note, she mentioned also the credit card, like the one American Express is used for every purchase, right? That she is associated with. Which I'm sitting here on the back end now that I've seen this docu series. I'm going, okay, who is on the payroll, right? Or who has a copy of this card number? Where is the original card? Honestly, she stated that you have Kevin Jr. and he had access to the card. Now you always that whenever Kevin is not at home with Wendy, he is with his daddy and stepmama Sharina. Stop playing with me. So I know that Kevin Sr. has a copy of this card, okay? Or if not, then he probably gets Kevin Jr. to make purchases for him. But there were amounts of like 100,000 stuff that stood out to me. 100,000 for Uber Eats, 80,000 for a monthly room and board. And then I thought that was 60,000, if I wasn't mistaken, like, right? Whenever we covered the story back in the day. And then so anyway, there were multiple charges like on a monthly basis that would rack up. Now, through a financial advisor's eyes, you would think that, hey, they'd be like, I don't know what's really going on, but just to secure your bag, let's go ahead and stagnate who has access to it. And what we'll do is we'll appoint somebody. And like that one gentleman said, they don't appoint anybody in the family, especially if there's feuding going on. It just causes a bigger debacle. So, with that being said, the one lady is appointed all her finances. And I think that this is shining more light on is that guardianship to be trusted. Is all the money? I don't want to say all the money's going to be there. It's been damn near 2 years, right? You're thinking 2022 when all of this is recorded, then 23, then 24, because relatively it's been a year and some months, right? Maybe a year and a half, because I think it was like May. You were getting the dates in the title there, so it informed us a little bit of what was going on. Now let's not forget that. Also, anyway, back to the credit card, because I was thinking, well, whoever had copies of this credit card, you have everybody. Like Will even showed up in this docu series, right? And I know that this took part over a couple of months span for them to get all this footage together, but I'm sorry, Will showed up with 15 grand and she just had it kind of laying around. And from my acknowledgement, either he had access again, to that same credit card, or maybe there was a deal in the making and that was just, a little bit of money that he kind of, out of the pay cash, or maybe he had access to an account. But my question still lingers. does she owe you that 15 grand, or where does 15 grand come from, right? Because it was it's questionable, right? Also, I do notice, everyone's getting taken care of. So whether her money is, sealed right now, or this case is sealed, okay, we don't know so much about the money itself, but I do want to say, if the money is just, under guardianship, you would think that um at least the one lady that is in charge of it all has the power to dispute, or I'm sorry, distribute money on a monthly basis to everyone that she was really taking care of before, right? Because I can assume that Wendy still agrees to take care of all those, any financial matters that she agrees to in the beginning. Now I know that we can go all the way around the block with this. However, the whole question still lingers. Where's Wendy Williams as of today? I was going to bring up that her niece has been making various appearances on different talk shows, and I think that there's a lot that she's excluded from, right? And I think too that it's just really hurting the family. It's hurting the family, and this is the only way that they can talk. Now, again, mind you, Wendy has stated in the past that her family members that confide in media to talk about her, there's no longer a relationship. Now, I know that the niece, if anything happens between them, um, this is one of the Finney children, then I know Wanda's daughter. So I know that if something happens, that maybe she will be the first one to come out talking about it. Right? That's just my thought and theory, because it seemed like Wanda's children had a place in Wendy's house. Right? The nephew did talk a good game, and he did give a decent expression of how he, thinks everything played out. Right? He explained a lot in a way, in a way. Again, I was like shocked from how rude Wendy was, but I think too that maybe she shows off in front of a certain amount of people, or more men than she did women. She did point out, you know what I mean? Or she didn't really point it out, but they had emphasis on a spot there that she, I don't know. She kind of blows up when the women are around. I don't know if it's because she feels maybe intimidated, or she is the only, like sometimes Queen Bee don't want no other bees around, okay? And that's just, it's an egotistical thing. But also she'd always look like she was starting on the brink of a breakdown whenever she would show that kind of attitude towards these women. Shauna, she puts up with a lie, girl. I'm thinking that she has bonuses left and right. You know how whenever you go to the doctor's office and they touch you on the on the elbow, and it's an additional amount. I think that Shauna needs to have a little punch list, and every single time I got to deal with you, okay, it's a little commission bonus that I've earned. Let's not play that I've earned. And because there's a lot of humiliation that I think between her and Will, they have to, experience. I was a little conflicted with her relationship with Will. I'm not gonna hold you. There was a moment where she says, let's take a break, meet me upstairs, and then he says, okay, I'm coming, and she says yes, and then you can, come second. Anyway, I can go back. You know what I mean? If y'all screen recorded that going, but I thought there was a little something there. She was a little bit more excited and whatnot, and it is what it is. Um, Sean too. She asked to go upstairs. Now, I'm not sure what really happens upstairs, but to each their own. I am going to say that Will, he reminds me a lot of Kevin. He is really feeling the shoes of Kevin. And I think that too, we're getting a closer look at the way she treated people. I don't know. It's beyond me. And I didn't know that this is really where her ego went. I am not going to lie, but it makes me look at her a little bit more different. And I love Wendy Williams. I really do. She's worked her way to the top. It is what it is. But I think too that sometimes we need to straighten that crown, girl. And just, especially at a time like right now when she needs a lot of people. And to me, I'm not gonna sit here and say she's not going through some stuff, because she is. She's going through a multitude of health issues, and probably trying to stay on the correct formula, that a medical facility has put her on. But it is very evident that if she does not stay on a strict diet to control what goes into her body and corrects everything, because I'm at the point where I'm thinking, she likes seafood. And, I'm I don't want to say, I'm this holistic type person, but I do believe in, things that will come into your body and make its way up to your brain. Seafood has a history of making its way up there and just, making you very, very sick, brain wise. And so I can just recall, the person that Wendy was a long time ago. And I know she likes her sushi and stuff. Um, I don't know. There's just a lot that I'm like, change your diet, change this, that. And she does not like to be told what to do. Wendy is a strong willed person, okay? And she knows it for many. Well, I'll tell you what, throughout her whole life, she's been the breadwinner. And it's a lot to have it all, and then you already know that Kevin probably knew ahead of time that if you mess up, you're out the door. Look, there's no if, ands, or buts playing around with me and who I am up here, okay? She was a queen in her avenue. She is a queen in her avenue, and it is what it is. But whenever the spotlight is on her, it's like you were saying, this is Wendy's karma. You should have known that, this was gonna catch up with her. But on another note, we just don't know until we experience it, right? So I do want to say prayers for Wendy. I'm hoping that she'll come out of the limelight at least to address this docu series. If not tonight, right now while I'm speaking, good. I hope I'm not missing anything, but I just want to know, how of sound mind Wendy is as of today. I would hate to see some footage, you know what I mean, from her walk on the beach, from a couple years ago. I don't want to see that. I want to see what kind of change and transformation that she's experienced in the last 30 days. You know what I'm saying? Not something from 2022. But I do want to say that Will was prepping her for a podcast, right? So I think that they're thinking of a different avenue of making money, of course, right? I'm not telling you guys anything new, but I think too that maybe they're thinking about changing her name up. Then this makes me think about the scene with Angela White, right? With Black China. And I'm thinking maybe that was, you know what I mean? Will's idea of a podcast. You don't necessarily, have to have, lights, camera, action type stuff in a podcast, but to have one of your closest friends and that intimacy, that talking, right? And of course, Wendy and Black China have a history. They can party, like they can party really, really hard together. Let's not forget, right? But on another note, I think that that was an intimate moment that she was having with a close friend. And hopefully, if my mind does not, serve me wrong, maybe this is the beginning of the podcast. Maybe that is the beginning episode. The assistant was looking for, at least, what is it, that initial premiere of the show, like a pilot for the podcast. And I think for the life of me, it's just taking them forever in a day to figure out, okay, today's the day we're going to do it. I'm waiting for Wendy to take it very serious and wake up one day and go, look, or at least have it on the to-do list. March is coming up. Maybe March, 4th. We'll get into some things, and or maybe Monday, Tuesday. Anyway, so I'm looking at forward to a formula, okay, to unfold for what Wendy really wants to do. Again, it'd be nice for her to do an update today. This news here that we're looking at is like from a year and a half, 2 years ago. So it's disappointing to see her in this stage, but it would be miraculous to see her today and for her to go, I've come a long way, but I'm a lot better because I've chose to stop drinking, or I've chose to micro a dose with the drinking, that kind of thing, because she wants to balance out what you know I want to say what the meds are supposed to do, work in her favor. And of course, like I said, a good diet. You have to cut out alcohol. Yeah, it's a lot. So I want to hear your thoughts and theories down in the comment section below. If you have not subscribed, my name is Randy, how I see it, and I'll see you guys in the next ones.